Episode 13, Introduction to Virtual Memory. Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we mastered paging, an excellent solution to the problem of external fragmentation. However, all the techniques we have discussed so far rely on one assumption. The entire logical address space of a process must be loaded into physical memory before it can start executing. This assumption creates two major limitations. The size of a program is limited by the available physical RAM. Many parts of a program, such as error handlers or rarely used features, may never be called. They still occupy valuable space in RAM. Today we will break those limits with a revolutionary concept: virtual memory. Virtual does not mean unreal, or rather a complete separation between the logical address space seen by the user programmer and the actual physical address space. Part 1. Principles of Virtual Memory. Note 141 to 150. 1.1. Core idea: demand paging. The idea behind virtual memory is a form of lazy loading. Instead of loading the entire program into memory at once, we load a page into physical memory only when it is actually needed on demand. Benefits: program larger than RAM. A program may have a logical address space of 2 gigabytes, while the computer only has 1 gigabyte of physical RAM because only a small portion of the program needs to be in RAM at any given time. Increased multiprogramming. When each process occupies only a small part of memory, more processes can reside in RAM, increasing CPU utilization. Faster startup. A program can start running as soon as a few initial pages are loaded, without waiting for the entire program. Analogy: watching a 2-hour movie on Netflix. The browser does not download the entire film immediately. It only loads a few minutes ahead of what you are about to watch. That is the essence of demand paging. 1.2. Hardware support. Valid DIN valid bit. To implement demand paging, the page table needs an upgrade. Each entry has an extra valid DIN valid bit. V-valid. The corresponding page is currently in a physical frame. 1. Invalid. The page is not in physical memory. It may never have been used, or it may reside on the backing store SSD HDD. 1.3. Page fault handling. This is the heart of virtual memory. What happens when the CPU accesses a page marked invalid? A trap occurs, called a page fault. This is normal in virtual memory systems. Page fault handling steps. CPU references an address. MMU sees invalid bit. MMU generates a trap to the OS. OS runs the page fault handler. OS checks if the reference is valid. OS locates the page on backing store. OS finds a free frame. If none, page replacement is needed, discussed later. OS loads the page into the free frame. OS updates page table, set valid bit, record new frame. OS restarts the instruction that caused the trap. The process resumes normally. Part 2. Performance and optimization. Note 151 to 162.1. Performance analysis. A page fault is expensive. Memory access takes nanoseconds. Disk access takes milliseconds, and so thousands of times slower. Effective access time eat equals 1 p times memory access time plus p times page fault service time. Example: memory access equals 200 ns. Page fault equals 8 milliseconds, 8 million ns. Fault rate p equals 0.001. 8,199.8 ns. Even one fault per 1,000 accesses makes the system over 40 slower. Keeping the fault rate extremely low is critical. 2.2. Optimization. Copy on write cow. Virtual memory enables an efficient technique when creating new processes, called copy on write. When a parent forks a child, instead of copying the entire address space, the OS copies only the page table. Both parent and child share the same physical frames. Shared pages are marked read-only. If either process writes to a shared page, a page fault occurs. The OS recognizes cow, allocates a new frame, copies the page, updates the child's page table, and marks it read-write. This is highly efficient, especially in Unix systems where fork is often followed by exec. Unnecessary copying is avoided. Conclusion: virtual memory is a masterpiece of abstraction. It frees programmers from physical memory limits, allowing systems to run larger and more processes efficiently. Its foundation is paging, managed through page faults, and enhanced with optimizations such as copy on. But one big question remains. When a page fault occurs and physical memory is full, with no free frames, what must the OS do? The answer is page replacement, which we will study next, covering algorithms such as FIFO, LRU, and optimal. See you then.